Hey, this is Brian B back with another tutorial. So in this video I'm going to show you how to make a graphic, turn a regular graphic into something that's more interesting. Okay, so a couple universal concepts here. First of all, you got perspective, you have contrast, juxtaposition, exaggeration, and skew. So we're only going to be talking about a couple of them here, not all of them, but as you can see, this is a kind of like it's a graphic, but it's kind of like a flower or something that is kind of boring. It's at face value, you know. It is what it is. So what you want to do at this point for any graphic, you can first of all apply perspective to it. So what happens then is you might be able to see here we have perspective to it, so it's coming inwards instead of seeing it at face value. Not a huge change just yet, but it's a light perspective applied to it, so not a lot going on just yet. But from there, what you can do is you can apply contrast. So what contrast is the changing of the size of the elements to basically you're doing it in a way so the two elements in the graphic, they contradict each other, or well, they make contrast. Hopefully I'm not being confusing, but in this case there are two pieces here, right? Two different pieces, and then in this case I magnified the upper piece and then I made the lower piece here a little bit smaller, so it creates a little bit of contrast. Okay, so the next thing I did here was the skew. Okay, so you can see I push the shapes, or I push the lines inwards. You can see from the arrow I pushed it inwards just a little bit. This one too, this one, and also the petals. You can see the lines being pushed in, and it creates a nice flow, and the curves are more defined and more apparent. Okay, so from there I did another application of the perspective, which is going sideways, going inwards, as you can see then. So once I applied all these effects, it turns into something like this. And compared to this, at face value, as you can tell, is quite different, and it's probably, as you can tell, a lot more engaging and eye-catching. Okay, so this versus this, it goes from face value to application of perspective, and then application of contrast, and then the application of the skews to the lines. Now you can do this with a whole bunch of different lines in the graphic, or just do it with a couple things, and then you can apply more perspective. Okay, so it ends up with something like this. Now, as you can see here, this is another example, quick example here. So this is just a regular cloud at face value. All right, it's a silly graphic, I know. And then what happens here is I just apply extreme contrast to it. So I'm taking the different parts of the cloud, I'm magnifying some of them and then shrinking some all the way down. So you can tell from this to this, there's a big difference, okay? I hope you like this video. Make sure to check out my website to get the free Urban Design Crash Course program. In this program, you're going to learn 3 fundamental design skills and a bunch of cool stuff. Alright, so I'll see you there.